Mouldy silicone like this is a really common problem in showers and bathrooms that can ruin their overall appearance. But it's easy to replace it, which can transform your space into one that you're comfortable to use again. In this video, I'll walk you through how to properly remove your mouldy old silicone, treat and prepare the area before applying new silicone to totally transform your space from this to this. And once we're done, I'll tell you some easy ways you can keep your new sealant looking at its best for longer. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, my name's Shan. This shower room was professionally installed around 18 months ago, but as you can see, over time mould has started to eat into the silicone despite us regularly cleaning the shower. So we've got no choice but to remove it and replace it with some new stuff correctly to give it every chance of lasting for years to come. For this job you'll need the following items: some Silicone Sealant remover, this silicone profiling kit from Cramer, which is a silicone removal tool, and some profiling guides. And I'll show you why I think it's the best one for the job when we come to it later. It's also useful to have a silicone removing tool like this one, some Dettol mould remover spray, some Methylated Spirit, some blue roll, and finally a sealant gun and silicone cartridge. I'm choosing to use the Unibond anti-mould kitchen and bathroom silicone sealant, which I've used in other rooms in our house. And just to say, this isn't a sponsored video, but all of this stuff I've just tried and tested over the years. I'll pop some links to everything I'll be using in the video description box below, so you can make sure you've got what you need to complete the job. Now the first thing we need to do is remove this old silicone. To do this, I'll be using the sealant removal tool supplied with the Cramer toolkit. You'll notice it has two blades. I personally prefer the flat blade tool to get behind the silicone from the top and bottom, which should then allow you to remove the bulk of it. Yuck, look at all that horrible mouldy silicone. You'll notice that there are still these bits of silicone left that are stuck to the tray and tiles. And this is where the Silicone Sealant remover comes in. Give the bottle a shake and use the application brush to cover any leftover bits of sealant all the way around. Wait 15 minutes and carefully scrape off the last of the sealant with either the Cramer flat blade or the edge of one of the Cramer plastic tools. Now that all the old silicone is gone, we can start to prepare the joints ready to apply the new stuff. I personally like to apply some of this Dettol mould remover spray to the area so that if there's any remaining bacteria or mould spores, it will be killed off by this stuff. Simply spray it on whilst ensuring good ventilation, wait for 10 to 15 minutes, then wipe it off with a damp microfiber cloth. Next we need to get the area completely dry. To do this, I'm going to be using a hairdryer just to get any loose bits of silicone or water out of the joint. Finally, use a small amount of Methylated Spirit on some blue roll just to clean and degrease the area one last time to give our new silicone every chance of sticking. I'm going to give it a further 45 to 60 minutes to dry out, and this is a great time to tidy up some of the tools and things we've already used and don't need any more. Get everything we need for the new silicone to go on and grab a well-earned coffee. Okay, now that the joint is all dry, we're ready to silicone. It's important to do any vertical joints before horizontal ones, which will prevent smearing of the silicone and is easier to tool, leaving a professional finish. I'm cutting my silicone nozzle straight across at 90 degrees, which will allow me to force the silicone into the joint. I've also cut the nozzle just slightly wider than the 8mm profile I intend to use. I've got my silicone tube in the applicator gun and I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way carefully upwards. You'll notice I'm holding the silicone gun at 90 degrees, which helps me deploy enough silicone right into the joint. I can then use my Cramer profiling tool along the line of the silicone to smooth it out like so. As I'll be going over grout lines, I'll be using these black insert guides in the red profiling tool to keep a smooth, uninterrupted line of silicone across these intersecting grout lines. I'm working on small sections at a time, having plenty of blue roll on hand to remove the excess silicone that the tool is scraping away. Don't be tempted to use your finger, which can often leave a worse off finish and can promote early mould growth if bacteria off your finger gets trapped in the silicone before it cures. Also, don't use soapy water, which can often stop silicone sticking to the joint surface and increase the risk of mould formation. Okay, I've done both vertical joint lines and they're looking great. I'm going to leave them around 24 hours to cure, and I'll start again tomorrow on the horizontal joint lines. Now that the silicone in our vertical joint line has gone off overnight, we can go ahead and complete the horizontal joint lines. Run a bead of silicone again at 90 degrees into the joint all the way around. Using the same 8mm Cramer profiling tool, I'm going to remove the excess silicone. For the grout lines, I'll again be using the insert on just one side this time. Although where there are no grout lines to get past, I find the profiling tool easier to use without the inserts. For the corner, I'm going to be using the profiling tool in one continuous motion. As you can see, you'll need to remove the grout line insert for completing the corner, but you can stop and put it back in once you've cleared it. So as you can see from the pictures as we've been going along, that the new non-mouldy silicone looks a million times better and is now a shower I want to get into. But I'll resist the urge for the next 24 hours to make sure that the silicone is fully cured. So a few tips for keeping your silicone looking like new for longer is to make sure that you have good ventilation to the area to reduce moisture buildup. That includes using your extractor fan and leaving the window open whilst and after showering, and the shower cubicle and room door open at the end. It's also sensible to avoid leaving bottles and other items on the edges of your shower tray that can prevent the silicone from drying properly. And use a microfiber cloth to wipe any excess water off the silicone and surrounding surfaces after using your shower. I'm really pleased with that. A quick and easy job to do with a totally satisfying result. But what do you think? Is this how you would re-silicone your shower or bathroom? Or do you have another tried and tested way? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then I think you'll find this video useful too, and I'll see you there.